Today, my wife is going to cook some absolutely delicious plum dumplings. Hi, I'm Jacob, and let's get cooking. But today is going to be a little different. This time, I won't be the one cooking. Instead, my wife will take the lead in the kitchen. I'll just be here as the cameraman and commentator, watching everything unfold. And I can already say this in advance. Thank you, my dear. You really did an amazing job with today's lunch. These are plums from my own garden, from my little orchard. I actually planted that tree myself a few years ago, and only recently did it start producing fruit. And I have to say, the plums it gives are absolutely fantastic. It's just a shame that I didn't write down the variety anywhere, because I would happily recommend it to you right now. First, we thoroughly wash the plums, remove the pits, and carefully check each one to make sure there are no worms inside. Once the plums are ready, we can move on to the dough. It's actually very simple. We take a bowl and add flour. My wife uses all-purpose flour. And then we add 2 portions of farmer's cheese, similar to quark. Personally, I would go for full-fat cheese. But today my wife is cooking, and she strictly uses low-fat. And honestly, I'm not going to argue with her about it. Then we just add 1 egg and a pinch of salt and mix everything together thoroughly. If you're wondering how much mixing is enough, I'd say you keep going until all the lumps of flour are completely gone. At first, you'll want to mix the dough with a spoon because it's quite sticky, and then you switch to using your hands. If the dough still feels too soft and keeps sticking, just add a bit more flour. It's really not complicated at all. Once the dough is ready, it should form a nice smooth ball that doesn't stick and holds together well. That's the perfect moment to transfer it onto a floured work surface. Make sure to dust the surface with flour so the dough doesn't stick. Knead the dough a little more, and then start rolling it out. There's really not much to explain here. Just watch how my wife does it and follow her technique. Just to clarify, today we're cooking for 6 people, and preparing these plum dumplings with farmer's cheese dough takes about 30 minutes. Alright, the dough is rolled out and even cut into pieces. On each piece, we place 1 plum. These plums are quite large, so if you're using smaller ones, you can use 1.5 plums per dumpling. And then all that's left is to wrap them up nicely. One important tip, it's better to use sweeter, fully ripe plums. If your plums are a bit sour, you can add a teaspoon of sugar inside each dumpling. Another great thing about plum dumplings is that you can prepare them ahead of time and freeze them. To prevent them from sticking together, place them on a tray with a bit of space between each dumpling and put the whole tray into the freezer. Once they're fully frozen, you can transfer them into a plastic bag. Later, even after about a month, you can cook them straight from frozen by placing them into boiling water. Based on my experience, they can stay in the freezer for up to a month without losing their flavor. After that, the taste slowly starts to decline. Now, back to our fresh, non-frozen dumplings. The key is to put them into boiling water. The water should be actively boiling. It's important to add all the dumplings into the pot as quickly as possible so they cook evenly. We cook them for about 10 minutes. If you're using frozen dumplings, let them cook about 2-3 minutes longer. Another important step is to gently stir them right after adding them to the water so they don't stick together. Then cover the pot with a lid, and after about 2 minutes, give them another gentle stir. While the dumplings are cooking, we prepare some butter and let it melt. Great, the dumplings are cooked. Now it's important to remove all of them quickly at once, ideally by draining them. And friends, this is the final step. We're ready to serve. I like to serve these dumplings with powdered sugar sprinkled on top, and then drizzle them with melted butter. Some people also add extra farmer's cheese on top, but I personally love them just like this. The best part about these plum dumplings is the juice that bursts out of the plums when you cut into them. It's absolutely amazing. Of course, you can also garnish them. I like to decorate them with a bit of mint. Just to be clear, the mint is only for decoration. You don't eat it. Don't embarrass yourself by trying to eat it somewhere. I wish you a great meal, and I'll see you next time for more cooking.